Hello and welcome to Casting Roles, a persistent D&D campaign played by a bunch of theater nerds. Thank you for joining us. If you're liking the show, please don't get... Ronnie's reaction just stole me there. So, okay, I'll
leave it in.
If you're liking the show, please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And if you'd like to reach out to us, you can find us on social media. We're on Twitter at Casting Roles and on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Casting Roles ILM. Our videos are uploaded on Friday on our YouTube channel, and everybody's fucking with me tonight. And if you are interested in our podcast information, you can find that at castingrolesilm.com. But with no other announcements, let's go ahead and get into the Masquerade Ball. So, ticket takers, the night of festivities has arrived. After 6 days and nights in the city of Alyria and a smorgasbord of crazy events, you are now at the Masquerade Ball in honor of King Renly's 17th birthday. You have arrived on a carriage that was provided by Princess Alyria, and you are decked out in your gear of all kinds and the work of Xenox Thorn to make you all look the most beautiful and amazing group of individuals walking into the ball. You have a few other people with you. Amalia has joined you and is also beautifully dressed out in a gorgeous, like suited gemstone type outfit with vines of wisteria crawling up it in honor of somebody. And you also have Nyroy, who's wearing his vested outfit that Juridan provided for him. And hoping that perhaps Jerem Pol will be able to attend. If not, he has vacated the city of Alyria because he is a criminal at large. But you are walking into the palace, and there are any number of well-dressed people also getting out of carriages on this long roundabout, and the sun is dipping low into the horizon in the background, and there's the faint sound of music swelling from inside. And as you walk in through the main entrance, you're immediately greeted by a completely transformed front entrance to the palace. Many of you have walked through here to go to your trials questionings, but there are gorgeous streamers and banners hanging everywhere. There's music drifting from a live band from the back of the area. There's people walking around with tapas on trays and drinks, and everyone here is dressed gorgeously. Yes, Drew.
Just to also state, so we weren't allowed to bring our weapons in, right?
So as you enter, so first, if you are an armor wearer, make sure that you have that unequipped, because unless it's glamored, as juries,
my armor is glamored.
Make sure you have that unequipped for yourself. But as you enter in, somebody is standing there, like a coat check, basically, at the front entrance to the palace, and they just say, I'm sorry, excuse me, those items that you're carrying, you'll just need to check them here, and you'll be able to receive them after the ball.
So Josh, could we have put them in a bag of holding? Yeah. And can I sleight of hand to get this by this person?
Yeah, sure. So
or deception check or whatever.
Go ahead and roll.
Or we can leave a Nancy somewhere on the roof with the bag of holding.
How much can a Nancy lift?
I wanna have it in case we need to fight. So it'll be right.
Bag of holding weighs 15 pounds, so as long as a Nancy can
Remember, we did the math at some point, and we decided he could hold a bag of holding.
I think his was 20 pounds, maybe, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want, you can have items in a bag of holding that a Nancy's hiding in the bushes.
How do we feel, gang? What do you prefer?
My swords I summoned from the ether, so I have no say in this.
I'm not gonna take the Everspark in there with me. I'm not gonna risk it.
Oh, just a note on the Everspark. When you attuned to it, it began to amorphously take multiple shapes. And you were able to identify what you wanted it to look like, because it can appear as any mundane tool.
Oh, that's so
It only
cool.
appears like the imagery of the Everspark when it's unattuned to and it's frozen, but it's literally like a living gemstone that can amorphously change shape.
Any Monday tools.
So the only one who uses a weapon that needs to stay on them is me.
And Kaimana's staff.
Okay, Kaimana.
Staff's,
Okay, so like, who's seen?
And Source's gun.
Oh yeah, Source. So it's what you two want to do there.
So in like Mad Max Fury Road, when like Furiosa's like unloading all of her like firearms, or like Max is like taking all of the guns out of her truck or whatever. Like that's Kaimana. It's just like stick after stick after stick.
Oh my god! Yeah,
It's
but
like-
are we sending them with a Nancy, or are we trying to keep them on us?
Yeah, whatever you guys want to try to do. If you want to sleight of hand it,
Yeah.
What do you feel, Source? Come on.
A bag of holding also looks very specifically like a bag of holding. Like it looks like a backpack.
Yeah.
So it might be more difficult to get past. That would require a deception roll.
Kaimana's going to basically just he's going to obey the letter of the law, except for his druidic focus.
Okay.
Which he's going to kind of like tuck and nestle into his mini lays that
Yeah.
he's wearing around his neck.
And I'll check the gun in.
Okay. So you guys don't want to hide them off with a Nancy. You want to check them. Okay.
I'm gonna bag of holding mine,
Okay.
and I will try to sneak them in.
All right.
I want to be able to say with straight face that yes, I checked all my. If we are ever inquired, yes, I checked everything
I need
in.
to
I have any
not
weapons on me.
die. So
Okay. That sounds good.
yeah, all my like weapon like stuff is in a bag of holding. My bag of holding with a non.
So can I roll deception to try to sneak this past? Is it deception?
Could you put yours in Abel's bag that the Nazi's holding?
That feels like the
I'm gonna
universal
hold
split,
my
right?
bag of holding so I can
Putting
get my
bags of
weapon
holding
out
in bags
from
of
it.
holding?
Yeah. So you're trying to pass off a bag of holding as like
Like a purse or
Like a
something.
purse,
You know
okay.
what I mean? I'm
Yes.
trying to be like, this is my musical instrument
so make
stuff because I'm a blonde.
a music or make a music check. Make a deception check.
Okay, all right, Jerry, you're good at deception,
make a
right? Every
stealth-
time you roll, you stuck.
Make a stealth check for a Nancy to make sure he can hide without people noticing that he's hiding.
I got a
He's just gonna be like up on the roof. Is that
16.
like
Yeah, he has to go up there. Yeah.
a-
A what? A 16?
A 16, which is I cannot roll deception. Jerry's built for deception. They never roll good.
Okay. So the person goes, "Oh, well, that seems all right, but just make sure that your bag may be subject to search when you leave to make sure that you haven't brought anything out of the palace."
Oh, sure. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so I rolled a 16, but Anansi's modifiers are different than mine, so it's not a +2. It's a 16 +4, so 20.
Okay. All right. So you pass the bag to Anansi, and he kind of uses a cart that's approaching behind your cart to sidle off into the bushes on the
And I'll tell him,
side of
"Stay
the
close."
entrance, and then he disappears up onto the roof. Good.
Yeah.
Um,
They
and
close
you-
by, but I need you. I'll telepathically yell at you.
All right, so that sounds great. So as you walk past the coat check, this is kind of a short little. I mean, little in the sense of a small space in the palace, but it's the size of a home, a normal home, an entrance foyer before you get into the larger area that's being used as if it's the ballroom. And this is curtained off from the rest of the ballroom with these gorgeous gemmed and sequined curtains of red in honor of and when you get there, there's a man standing with a trumpet piece, and he stops you for a moment. He says, yes, are you dignitaries of any kind that would require announcement for the Masquerade Ball?
The Adventurers Guild.
The Adventurers Guild. And he kind of looks to the side. Do we have an Adventurers Guild on our list? And there's somebody next door who's like checking a scroll list, and they say, oh, yes.
It might be under ticket takers.
Ticket takers. Oh, yes. Yes. Lenaria Mistweaver. Put them down. Yes. Adventurers Guild. The ticket takers. The Saviors of Broadfield. That's all it says.
Ooh.
Okay. And so he plays the trumpet like for a moment and then announces, and now entering the glorious ticket takers, the Adventurers Guild Saviors of Broadfield. And everyone kind of turns, and there's light clapping, and there's a few like quizzical glances at your motley crew of groups. And
I'm going to report performance to try to seem very cool.
okay, go ahead. Go ahead and roll.
I rolled an 18. I can't roll shit for
Nice.
deception or performance.
I like that it has to be a performance and not just like persuasion.
It's performance. I'm performing.
Yes.
I'm trying to seem like I have this
Yeah.
together.
You all watch as Jury, like, he begins to just kind of like step in. Just, yeah.
Yes.
There's definitely a few, you're grabbing some people's attention, and you see some whispering taking place from some of the individuals walking around, and then everyone just kind of folds back into small chit chat and conversation and grabbing food off of trays and things. There are a smattering of standing tables within this space, but they're definitely not encouraging like a sit down atmosphere. But there is tapas and drinks that you may take part in as they go. Moving through the crowd, a moment after your announcement, you see Ogon approaching. And he is dressed in a very, very Noavian look. As you all saw at Xenox Thorns, he stands out in this crowd of Illyrians in their base. It's like if some, like, you know, a Mansa Musa were to walk into the court of King George III, right? Like, complete cultural difference and a purposeful choice on his part to look nothing like the people around him. And he is flanked on either side by two tall women, both very strong looking and wearing also traditional Noavian garb. And Abel, you recognize them as the Queen's Guard or the Sovereign Guard, who are here. And you didn't know that they were in that any of them were in Enervir, but there are two of them flanking Ogon. And he walks up, well, you certainly know how to make an entrance, ticket takers.
Josh, technical question
Yes.
about the layout of the space. Is this one ballroom the only room, or is there opening on the terraces? Are there other rooms coming off of it?
So your entrance here, like, you know that this room keeps going straight and it goes back to the audience chambers, where you had the court sessions, and that's at the back of the room. There's also at the back a second floor balcony that goes on to other rooms up on the second floor, but only the back half of this room has that balcony terrace area. You haven't had a chance to explore much, but you do see off to the left-hand side there is an open, like, massive, like, 4 French door entrance that is open to the outdoors, and you see that there is kind of a terrace or a balcony off to the right, and then or to the left, and then off to your right there is another door, which Abel you recognize as the one that Alora pulled you in to go to the East Tower, and it is currently like ribboned off with a ribbon, because you know this is where the Noavian gift is being built and will probably be unveiled at some point this evening.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's just kind of a massive, slightly T-shaped space, but mostly just a massive kind of rectangular space.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Cool. Question. So real quick, so I took off my studded leather armor. If I'm wearing something that may look like jewelry, you know, as a Nuavian, kind of known for wearing beads and things like that,
Yes.
and like maybe a wrist bracelet type thing.
Like your shield? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
You would get
I
away
just
with
want-
that. It looks like an ornate wrist unless you activate it as your shield. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
That's all.
So Ogon is there, and somebody walks by with a champagne, and he grabs a flute, and then says, partake. I believe a toast is for all of us to have survived in Enervir this long.
A toast then, eh?
All right, and he
Absolutely.
clinks and then drinks a little.
So when do you all plan to leave the Nuavian embassy to head back home?
I believe, not too far after the morning light. It's quite a journey, and we don't want to be too far into darkness.
Perhaps sooner rather than later then.
Yes, just some minor packing and some last-minute things to take care of course.
Absolutely.
I will move on over and hold up a lei to the king.
The So King Renly's not in here.
Not the king. Sorry.
Oh,
To Ogwan.
Ogwan,
He's the
yeah.
king of our hearts.
Yeah.
King of our
The king.
heart.
The true king.
Ogwan.
To Kaimana, he's the king.
Ogwan. This is he bends down and he's like, "Brother, this is beautiful, Kaimana. Did you make this yourself?"
Yes.
Well, I will cherish it for as long as it stays fresh and beautiful.
That will probably not be long. Those are plumerias.
So he puts it, and he carefully kind of lays it around his gemmed necklace, which is similar to Abel's, so that's still visible, but lays it across his chest.
Excuse me. Yeah. So cool.
Is there a program for the evening's festivities?
Well, as far as I know, this is kind of the happy drinking hour. You can get the food that you like. You can communicate and talk to the dignitaries here. Pretty much anybody who is important in Anavir is present for the king's birthday. And then I believe the fireworks presentation from Warden Windsor will be shortly after dark. And then immediately following is the unveiling of the Doavian gift to the king.
Oh.
Yes, and then I'm sure it will go well into the night with partying, celebration, and political intrigue, of course. But the king should make his appearance in the next hour or so.
Is Yusef present?
He and the king and Princess Alora will be making their appearance at the same time, probably.
That would be interesting. The letters that we spoke of have been delivered, so by the morning.
I hate Abel. I hate Abel
Of
for talking
course,
about this in here.
I told my father when I went back to.
The letters, bro. I feel a smack on the arm.
I want to the information that we spoke of has been delivered. So by morning, I believe there may be an anthill.
I slap you again on the arm.
I lean over to Jury and whisper, "It wasn't me this time."
I'm so proud of you. You know what, Soros, you're my new favorite, actually.
This is a private conversation between the
Jury who can lip read
diplomat
is
and the
watching
ticket
you.
takers. No one's listening. Okay. I'll just wink. And my father will know what I'm talking about. I don't want them sticking around too long with things about to happen. So,
Abel,
Oh,
I
Lord.
love you so much.
Ogwan says, sometimes honesty is not a gift.
I was in
Which translates as "shut the fuck up."
my training is not in subterfuge.
But
So
all
just-
the
Yeah,
all
April,
the
we
subtlety
got
of a fart in an echo chamber.
Listen, that's not what he was brought on for, okay?
But good to know. All the better reason to let the wind catch us on our journey home.
my point exactly, Father.
Well, I would avoid the woman there walking around with the tray. The crab puffs are slightly off, not fresh crab. Don't eat that. But the other food is good so far. So
This is to celebrate the king?
well,
Disappointing.
we are far from the seas, and nothing can match the glory of a Noavian cook when it comes to crab meat. So.
That is true. That is very
Kamada
true.
nods knowingly.
I wanna.
yeah.
Can I message Ogwan really quick?
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Oh, I got a message. too.
keep an eye on the present and the people working on it. There's a shapeshifter threat, possibly. So question everyone.
Well, he messages back. There are 5 Noavians in the room. Certainly, if anything goes wrong there, they will deal with that problem.
I let him know I'm just like, think if they were going to frame anyone right now, it would be a Nuavian.
And
So
while
on
he's
your
talking
choice.
about it, he looks
Yeah.
at the door, and you can see that there are 4 guards standing outside the
Nice.
door. They're not Nuavian guards; they are palace guards, but there are 4 guards standing outside that door.
Okay.
So anybody trying to go through, they're blocking them off.
Cool.
But there are the individuals all around. If there's anyone in particular that you would like to seek out and speak to this evening, most of the Curia Regis is present, minus Yusef and the king, of course. But there are individuals all around. If there's anyone in particular you would like to find.
I want to talk to Lunaria.
Yeah, so you kind of...
If the group wants to come as well, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, why are you looking at me like that?
I think you should go talk to her.
I'm going to head off on my own.
Okay.
Source, before you go, I'll ask you if you'll come with me when I talk to my dad. You can go now.
I would love to.
Okay, thank you.
So Marlo, you head off in search of Lunaria, and kind of weeding your way through the crowd. There's probably 50, 60 people here or so. It's not a huge number of
Absolutely
individuals.
dying, dude. This is the worst. One of the worst
Yeah.
moments of Mars' life. This has got to be low.
Yeah, but there's several people who kind of are turning and looking, because like your tattoos definitely catching people's eyes as it
Yeah.
gently waves across your chest.
You know when like you put a little child in a formal outfit and they just stiffen up? Or like you put a dog in a Halloween costume and they just freeze, you know?
Kaimana's right there.
Yeah.
That's what Mars do. It's that very like uncomfortable, like,
Yeah.
I feel fine right now,
And,
definitely.
As you go to walk off, like Amalia steps next to you and she begins to kind of follow your path, and she just lightly grabs your wrist and squeezes it. Breathe. It'll be okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I should mention Kaimana does have lays for everybody in the party if they want.
Yay!
You're all
I'll take
laid.
I'll take a purple one. Whoa! It's about time I got laid in Anarvir.
Never heard that joke before. Not seen that on like 50 t-shirts on
Yeah.
the Big Island.
So you make your way through, and the crowd, you're working your way through the crowd, but there's a moment where you get to kind of towards the center of the room, and it opens up, and there's clearly a dance floor here that no one is currently dancing on because the music is just light atmospheric. But Lunaria is standing at the other end of the dance floor at the base of stairs that go up to that second balcony, and she's lightly talking to another individual that you recognize, who is Unali Troma.
Oh, does it look important? Should I not interrupt?
They look like they both have a glass of wine, and they're chatting and kind of.
Oh,
looking at
Mar
the room.
has if water or whatever non-alcoholic option there is here, by the way. Because drinking in full moon sounds so bad.
Yes, and that's, keeping track of how much we are all drinking, it'd be a nice thing to consider. So you approach, and Lunaria sees you. Oh, Marlo, you look fantastic. Is that a Xenox Thorn original?
It is. Yeah.
She kind of steps back, and you see like her long violet gown, kind of like almost slightly militaristic pauldrons at the edges of her shoulders, and a kind of a deeper V at the front, but lined with glimmering silver. And she kind of steps back and she says, "Well, they always ask what you're wearing at these types of events, but he's the only one worth mentioning."
I agree.
And
I can't name any others, so I have to agree.
And I believe Amalia Windsor, correct?
Yes.
And Amalia kind of steps forward. I've heard so much about you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I look at Amalia like, Mom.
Amalia says, Marlo, would you like to talk to Lady Miss Weaver alone, or I could go grab something to drink or something?
No, I was just, I just wanted to say hello. I just, thank you for the invitation. Me and the rest of the gang are enjoying it.
Lunaria kind of, well, of course, it would not be a party without the ticket takers here, of course. And you might notice she kind of looks across the room for a moment, and then that tray over there walking around, Northwick buns. I made sure that they supplied for the masquerade, so make sure.
God,
Excuse me.
Amazing.
Excuse me.
Pushing through the crowd. Kamana finds the maitre d' carrying around the tray of Northwick buns. And
Be the cartoon character smelling a pie.
Yeah. This is led by his nose.
Yeah. They all
Feet
have,
off the ground. Just
these all have edible red flowers on them, in honor of red for the kings. So.
Aww.
And they're delicious. She tips her glass in your direction, Marlo. We will survive the night together, I suppose.
Yes,
she
will.
nods. And Unali is watching you the whole time, but it's very she doesn't speak, but she does nod in your direction. But there's kind of a seriousness to her expression.
That's fine. Yeah.
You know more about Anali than she wants you to know. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And it's there. So, Saurus, where were you heading off to?
I'm trying to find Thornton Braid.
Okay. So you've seen Thornton before, so you know what he looks like. And so you're kind of wandering around the outskirts, Marlowe's with where many of the other Curia Regis members are. Thornton's not there. So you're kind of wandering around, and eventually, you case.
And I have a drink. I'm not drinking it, but I have something that I'm carrying, so it looks like.
Yeah. You case the whole room, and you don't. There's dwarves in the room, but there's not Thornton Braid. And eventually, you're well, the only other place. The back entrance to the audience chambers is closed. The upstairs is currently guarded off because that's where the king's going to be coming in from.
Mm-hmm.
So you go off to the terrace, and you see kind of in the sunlight fading off in the distance, kind of backlit from that, you see two shadowy figures kind of sitting on the steps of the terrace. And this is a massive terrace. There's two large fountains on either side after you come out onto it, massive flagstones of gorgeous marble, and then it goes down into a jutting piece that goes over the side of the cliff face that this palace is built on the side of. And standing out on that, you're standing hundreds and hundreds of feet up above the city beneath you. So this is a gorgeous view of the city laid out below the palace. And there's two figures there, one of them kind of short and stout, and another one a taller individual. And they seem to be passing back and forth an object that may or may not be a flask.
Oh, yeah.
Darkon and Thornton Braid.
And so if you go to explore, you will discover that this is Darkon Cerulean and Thornton Braid.
Is Thornton drunk?
Make an insight check, because he is a dwarf, and that is something they can easily hide.
I rolled a 3. So that's a 9.
Okay. He appears sober enough. Darkon appears tipsy.
Hello there.
Hey, I think I recognize you, Alyria. You don't see
I'm one of
many
the-
white rats. Ticket taker, correct?
Correct, sir.
Hey, and he kind of lifts up the flask and then takes a drink. Are you drinking any of the fired whiskey tonight?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your kind and generous offer.
Darkon. Well, it's more for us then, Thorin. And he takes it and takes a sip.
Darkon, we're headed back to Broadfield before too long. If you want, we could arrange transport of a cask of that liquor that you first found there.
Oh, Thorin, I was telling you about this stuff. It is quite potent. Not sure where that little minx, what was her name again? What was her name? Sora. I'm not sure where Sora got it, but it was quite delicious.
Yes.
And Thorin says, yeah, he's been talking about it ever since he got back from Broadfield. I think you should send a cask up and, we'll put it as a write-off for tax purposes.
Yes, it might prove difficult, but we'll see what we can do. May I have a word with Thornton alone for a moment?
Thornton kind of looks at Darkon. Sure. And he kind of steps forward and begins to walk out onto the terrace proper. And There's fragrant flowers on either side and kind of a raised dais at the end of this terrace. And he kind of walks out to that, and he's looking out over the city beneath him, and he's looking up. And this is the first time you've been outside, and you see the circle of airships in the air that are circling the palace. And they all have like streamers coming off of them, but they're all currently lit up by some kind of magical lighting effects and are flashing different colors in the sky, which will be more beautiful as the sun sets. Hey, what can I do for you, Sodus?
I was wondering how you felt about your impending retirement. I overheard Yusef and oh God, I'm blanking on his name.
Uriel.
No, it was the guy who wants to supplant
Kratos Hawk.
Yes, I when I was going in for my interrogation, I overheard Yusef talking with Kratos Hawk about replacing you.
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh.
That would be persuasion +5. That would be a 19 then.
Okay. Well, I have no intention of stepping down. Just because humans live for such short lives does not mean that a dwarf is not well and good to fight well into their older years. Yusef is still a pup. He'll know the right way in a few years.
You still might want to move Kratos Hawk out from his current command to somewhere where he might be less inclined to be adventurous.
Unfortunately, there are very few members of the Radiant Legion who have any experience in fighting creatures from the Vale, and he has the most. So removing him from Blighthold might not be the best course of action for the good of the kingdom. But I can make sure that he doesn't have free time to travel to the capital.
Well, I was thinking, in fighting the Vale, that there's these various orders around that should probably link up and coordinate better with the Radiant Legion to increase your fighting prowess. Now, there's one in particular that is a delicate situation and very close to the Vale where they're fighting their own. So having someone with great fighting prowess would be a benefit to them. May I suggest the Order of the Lycan? If you need a liaison person to coordinate with them for things, at least if not permanently, then for a few weeks to get him out of the way.
Between the two of us, the Order of the Lycan may not be around for much longer. Their numbers are quite diminished. But
then more reason for him to assess their fighting prowess and who might replace them to guard against the things coming from the Vale through that area.
Well, I will take your suggestion into consideration, of course.
Yes, it would be terrible for him to be in an area with isolated, very paranoid people who would keep a close eye on him.
How soon after this morning did you all send that pseudo dragon to Thornton Braid?
It was first thing in the morning, pretty much.
Okay.
Am I wrong in that, guys? Or
I didn't know if it was right before you guys left or if it was.
Yeah, I think Jerry handled everything for you guys, so I think it was whenever we decided. So I think it was.
Yeah. I think this morning, because we needed to go first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay. I just make it because I was like, if it was the cart, then it would be arriving about now. But, all right.
I think we did it on purpose so he would get it before.
He get it in the morning, yeah. And he kind of like leans back and he just says, well, Kratos is what they might call hungry. I'm sure you've traveled with humans. You've probably seen it yourself from some of them. They live such short lives that they feel they have to make a mark so quickly.
Sometimes that causes them to do something foolish.
That's true. But currently he does not have the backing of enough members of the Curia Regis to replace me, and I believe that we have evidence that he may not be worthy of the position that we could use if those conversations were to come into place.
Very well. Just as long as forewarned, you're forearmed.
Have the ticket takers ever, I don't know, used the messenger service in Alyria?
I believe we received a communication from Lady Mistweaver that way.
But you've never sent one yourself, of course.
I personally have never sent one, no.
Okay. I hate people who play paladins.
It's you know.
He kind of just smiles for a moment, and then,
any knowledge I may have directly of this came from overhearing that conversation.
Of course, Yusef often is not aware of his surroundings when he has those types of conversations. He should be more cautious. But the ticket takers have a friend in Braid.
Thank you, sir. And I make some nonchalant small talk as we make our way back to the group. And then I go and actually have a real drink.
Yes, you are more than welcome to. All right. Jordan, Abel, Kaimana.
I'm hanging out with Nairoy.
Okay, so
I'm enjoying myself before shit goes down, okay?
So Nairoy is like I mean, when you said that we were going to someplace at the palace, I didn't think that, like, people of the palace would be there. I thought it was like
it wasn't like a birthday party rental thing for non-palace people.
No.
Like that's like that woman over there. Like she's like the head of the Violet Conclave.
Oh, I like start naming who all these like high level people are and like picking them out. That's so and so, and like I'm just like listing them all off.
He's like
whoever I can remember.
She was like my teacher at one point. Do
you want to go show off?
No, I dropped out of school. She wouldn't want to see me.
Well, that's the whole point. You come to these things and you're like, I'm happy and look at me.
What I am wearing a rented tuxedo.
He doesn't have to know that.
I have a journal filled with half-baked ideas.
I put my hands on
his... I work as a bartender, Jerry.
I put my hand on his arm and I'm like, look, like when you're doing your book and you kind of like think about fictional characters, like sometimes you just pretend like you're a fictionalized version of yourself and I mean, if you want to go flex on her, I'll 100% go do that right now for you. Don't worry.
So I have to pretend to be someone that I'm not.
No, you just like pretend to have their confidence. That's what I do. I'm having a horrible time, but I seem fine. Not because of you, like just being here. I didn't think I'd be back here ever again.
Ooh, no, it is. I think I can maybe try that. He kind of like straightens up a little bit.
Yeah.
Do I look confident now?
You're grimacing, but everything else, sure. Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Like he's kind of straightening his hair a little bit, and he's just like, "Oh, it's hot. It's warm in here." I'm
like, please don't do that. Please don't unbutton your shirt.
He puts his hands. He doesn't know what to do with his hands. Okay. I don't know. Yes. I mean, I guess we could go say hello to somebody.
If you want to.
Can we drink first?
Yeah. I'm not going to drink anything because I'm going to have to
a cart goes by
later.
And he grabs a champagne and just like, and he goes to hand you one and you're saying you're not going to drink and he does the other one.
I thought bartenders didn't drink a lot. Like superstition.
Not while we're working. But it counteracts because authors drink a shitload. So it's a hit and miss. Finding me on that. So
all right, here. Let me show you how this works. And I'm gonna go using my Vox Populi training, and I'm gonna roll good deception to schmooze. Should I roll performance or deception, Josh? I guess I'm trying to like deceive people. So.
Yeah, so roll deception.
Oh, okay. I got a 25 to schmooze.
Schmoozing.
Like,
who is your target for schmoozing?
The jury schmooze-o-matic.
I mean, if he's talking about that lady, I'm gonna go up to her.
That lady is Lenaria Mistweep.
Yeah, it's Lenora.
This is Lenaria. I don't have to schmooze with Lenaria.
Yeah,
No, I'm gonna
no.
find some I don't know, just some haughty-toity people.
Okay, so there is, I mean, like the most elegantly dressed couple in the room right now are kind of standing off near where the collection of bards are playing their ambience music, and they're kind of just standing there with like wine, and like they have that look on their face of like no one in this is of the caliber that we are, and so we are here and we're just being seen, and if people want to look at us they can look at us. But
so I'm like, watch this, and I like walk up to them immediately. Hi, just thought I'd introduce myself, Jordan Windsor. It's kind of like
Windsor. You're Warren's son
now, yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, I was telling you about this one, wasn't I? It was in the news. It's so pleasurable when new patrician families really deal with news. Whistleton first.
I know, it's
next. It's
exciting week, isn't it?
Yes, it's pleasurable. And she's wearing like this like a shawl of some kind of animal with, it's like the garish type of shawl where the head of the animal is still on the thing. It's like, and just 7 rings on her fingers and gold, and he's dressed a little more modestly, but everything is like he's wearing gold rings and gold necklaces and gold things.
Sure.
It's like, oh well, let's see. I'm gonna roll to see which, because I have 3 different patrician families that you haven't met.
Oh shit, a patrician family. Oh
Let's
no.
see which patrician this is.
They were talking about you as nouveau riche, dude.
They were.
Yeah, the Windsors are, and for new, you're like, what? Like my grandfather established this family.
Yeah.
Like that's not super new, but you've got that. Hold on. Lyric. Let's see the patricians. Here we go. Okay, so this is, oh, okay, good. Yeah, that works. So this is, and she kind of like reaches, she does the thing with her hand.
Oh yeah, I like perfect courtly manners. I like know how everything works.
I'm Lady Troubadour of Hightower, of course. And you have heard of us, I'm sure. And she said, and this is a Lord Troubadour. We are one of the oldest of the patrician families, never deigning ourselves to sit on the Curia Regis because we have much better things to do. So you might not have heard us politically speaking, but we are the ones responsible for Hightower's growth in the last 100 years.
I would be remiss if I didn't recognize you immediately. Came over to congratulate you on your accomplishments.
Thank you so much. I've heard that your father is going to be doing quite a display later. One of his new inventions from his little college.
Certainly, I look forward to seeing it.
Oh, yes. They call them fireworks. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Sure, it'll be a show.
Yes, people with nothing to do in their spare time can come up with such interesting fancies.
Guess it's a lot easier when you don't have a family to take care of. There's like a beat, and I'm like, it's a joke. I laughed, and then that's
hilarious.
So,
did you hear that?
Crazy,
when we see Warren later, we should say that to him. Thank you.
I think he'd really like that joke. Actually, I think it's like a joke between me and him now.
Oh,
you tell it to him.
Oh, we love when families can joke with each other.
Oh, we love.
Don't we? And the man has said nothing, and he just kind of drinks and nods. Well, I hate to be, it's been wonderful talking to you.
I can't monopolize your time.
Jordan, it has been fantastic.
Jordan.
Would love to talk more, but, quite busy.
You're
people
fine.
To be seen by.
So many people seem to be behind me to talk to you, and I look and there's no one.
Yeah,
and I'm like, so many people. All right.
And then Nairo's just, it was nice meeting you, Lady Troubadour.
I was like, you don't have to talk to them. And I like,
he walks.
I was like, see, like you just like schmooze a little bit.
I don't want to talk to people like her ever.
They're like you gather a little bit of information. They tell you a little something.
Yeah, I don't think I'm as good at lying as you are.
Yeah, it's true.
I didn't
You
mean
know.
that to be in any way negative. I think that I would.
No, I'm
begin to
really
s-
good at lying, so I understand.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Yes,
that
it's my
was
job.
quite an experience. Would you like to have some crab cakes?
I would love to get as far away from these bards as possible.
Oh, they're like
We are like right beside the bards.
yes. And you can tell that they're all Club Orphidian students, basically, who are playing here for the king's birthday. So you walk away and in search of food. Kaimana, what is Kaimana doing with his time?
I definitely want to intercept them from eating the crab cakes if they're as bad as.
Kaimana, if you get in the way of my crab cake right now, I will have a fit. I had to talk to rich people and they suck so badly. If you do not give me a crab cake, I'm going to lose my mind.
Kaimana holds up a Northwick bun.
You saved my life twice in one evening. It's funny because you did save my life. I owe my life to you. And I take the Northwick bun.
Naira is like, is that something I should be concerned about?
Oh, yeah, I almost died. It was crazy. I didn't, though.
It worked out.
Lord.
Kaimana saved my life, like I said.
Well, stay
Naira,
around, Kaimana.
Naira, do you want a lay?
They're beautiful. Sure. Are these something from your culture, Kaimana?
Yes. We give these out on special occasions.
Well, certainly. Do you have one that will not clash with this? He kind of refers to the bluish color of his skin tone.
I think so. And there's like he'll pull out like a pink, white, and yellow. Like
It's gorgeous. Come on. And he kind of bends down so you can place it on his neck, and he clears it. He's like, "Oh, they smell wonderful. Fresh flowers. I thought they might be fake. Did you make these, Kaimana?"
yes.
Very
Aw.
talented. Is that
Yes.
did you grow them yourself, or is this magic that you have?
If anyone at the party talks to you about their garden being ravaged, please pretend like you don't know anything about it.
Jury, I'm not a good liar. What am I?
There's stolen flowers. That's even cuter. I love
the royal
it.
gardens have just been pillaged.
My roses.
I'm like, it's fine, Naira. I'll make up for the both of us.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about it.
But I am going to take this opportunity because like I'm kind of like surrounded by Nairoi and Jordan, like facing them, just kind of wedge. I am going to cast detect poison and disease
On the
No, just it's.
so you have
I-
it active. Okay.
I have it active, and it's good for 10 minutes. And anything within 30 feet of me that pings it.
So it's the person walking around with the crab cakes, lightly diseased, not poison. That's gonna give people some serious bouts of like uncomfortable toilet time this afternoon if they eat too much of that.
Stay away from the crab cakes,
Yeah,
guys.
crab cakes have gone a little bad.
I tell them to come over, and I'm like, I think Whistleton was looking for crab cakes. He was looking specifically for them. If you'll...
But I literally was just over there. Whistleton's had like 6 already.
Okay,
Lord.
great. Now, if you could give them to whoever those nobles I was just talking to, what are their names? I'm going to send them that way.
troubadours? Yeah.
I'll send them to them now. I think they also could use an up.
Okay, and he kind of, are you sure you don't want any?
Oh god, I've eaten too much already. I had half a celery or some
Good,
shit.
all right.
Thanks.
Oh wait, real quick, Mar. That's your out.
Food poisoning.
That's your out.
Everyone knows I'm a werewolf. I could just be like,
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Bye.
Sorry. Bye.
All right, so he heads off across the ballroom, and you do see Whistleton and Uriel standing in the corner, and Whistleton is standing like near a woman, and they're both wearing the similar colors of outfit, but they're not talking to each other or communicating in any
Oh my
way.
god, his wife's back in town.
Dang.
No.
But you do notice like the guy comes over and offers Whistleton. Whistleton takes crab cakes and eats a couple of them, and as the guy turns to walk away, you just see Whistleton like, and then watches the man walk away from him, right next to his wife. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Uriel doesn't take any of the crab cakes, and then they walk on to the troubadours, but there's like people kind of walking the way, so it's hard to tell whether the troubadours took any or not.
Sure. We can help.
When Uriel and Tarlo were whispering to each other, could I have tried to overhear what they were talking about?
Sure. Like if you've made your way back in that area, go ahead and make a
I assume because I was like by where a lot of the Curie
Lenaria
Regis
was,
was,
yeah.
that it was like the same vibe.
yes.
Yeah.
They're standing about 15 feet away from Lenaria, so go ahead and make a
Okay.
perception check with advantage because you're using hearing.
I'm using hearing.
But it is a loud space, so let's just say a straight roll.
I rolled 2 17s, so can
So it
that
doesn't
count
matter,
as
it's a
one
17,
roll?
that's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so 17.
Wait, no. I have to add
Yep,
23.
23. So when Whistleton kind of leaned over to Uriel, you did hear him say, "It's all a bit gauche, isn't it? I mean, you'd think for the king's birthday they could do something a little bit better than this." And Uriel says, "I paid for these designs, Tarlo." and Tarlo says, "Oh, well, Uriel, it's gorgeous. I just thought perhaps fresh flowers or something would have been a nice touch. Don't you think so, Esmeralda?" And Esmeralda just kind of glances at him and then goes back to looking at the party. And then, but that's what they're talking about.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Wild question.
Wild. Okay.
Esmeralda out of his league?
Yeah. I mean, it's
All right.
Tarlo Whistleton. Yeah.
Good to know.
Anybody's out of Tarlo Whistleton's league.
I'm sure.
Yeah, she's she's beautiful, like kind of olive skin, gorgeous dark hair, kind of pulled over, very similar hairstyle to Mar, like a loose braid down the side, wearing like a gorgeous emerald dress.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to.
Yeah.
Just wanted to see what Dumb and Dumber were up to.
And just drinking wine. All right. Abel.
My non-alcoholic grape juice.
Abel, what were you doing as your party's kind of split up and we're perusing the Masquerade ball chamber? You're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
I'm gonna get a you're muted shirt.
Yes.
You're muted.
You muted, bestie. That's what you say.
But put it on Sully.
Go see your dad.
No. I think Abel probably would have taken interest in excuse me, the performances and the reveals later on tonight. So anyone who would be connected with the Cindervale like fireworks show and or the revealing of the Nuavian gift.
Okay.
Probably go and try to like peruse and
Well, your father would probably be the best person to talk to about the Nuavian gift, since he's the one who designed it. But if you mention that to Ogon can say, "Oh, well, the leader of the Halls of Origination is here. He is overseeing the fireworks display. He's standing next to that Warden Windsor." He kind of gestures off to the side, and you see a tall human male, kind of graying with a grayish beard, and he's talking to another individual who's older, bald, with kind of like a little bit of gray in the back, like not a monk's cut, but gray at the back but bald on top, who's wearing like a very similar kind of militaristic outfit, but it looks very much like a school uniform, but it's a little done up, and he kind of gestures in their direction.
Oh, Josh, you're triggering me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was thinking like Japanese school uniform, not Citadel school uniform.
They're the same thing.
I know.
Yeah, okay. I think I'll make my way over. And what I'll do is purposefully, in the conversation, I will focus all of my like infatuation and my questioning towards the leader of the Cinderville school and not Windsor.
Okay. Do you want Ogon to go with you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Ogon kind of goes over. I'm happy to give you an introduction. I spent a little bit of time at the Halls of Origination, so I'm quite familiar. And so he kind of guides you over, and he kind of nods. Lord Windsor, it's a pleasure to see you again. I hate to. Do you mind if I step in for a moment? And Windsor says, "No, not at all. Go ahead." And Ogon says, Abel, this is, let me find his name in my copious notes.
Did I meet this guy before?
No, this is not the same guy that you met.
Okay.
That other guy, he was like just a teacher at the Halls of Origination. This is the actual headmaster of the Halls of Origination. Yes, Abel. This is Mr. Bondbright. He is the current headmaster of the Halls of Origination. And they shake hands. And the Maester kind of looks and he says, your father was quite helpful when we were establishing the current curriculum at the Halls of Origination. We partnered with him and a Preta Yakuzi from Noevia in order to establish the current work that we're doing.
Yes. Preta Yakuzi was my instructor for many, many years.
Your private tutor was Preta Yakuzi. That's quite impressive. The greatest artificer that the world knows currently.
Taught me many things. I'm very grateful for the knowledge that he has passed along.
Are you looking forward to the fireworks show?
Absolutely. I was wondering exactly how you were going to pull it off.
We outfitted a cannon delivery system on the Quicksilver aircraft to launch these, and he kind of is describing something in air, but you're seeing that as he's doing that, he's casting a spell, and a minor illusion pops up in the air, and it's this rotating orb that you can see is encased by a ring of sigils around the outside. And he says it launches these into the air, and at a certain point, and he's kind of pointing out the sigils that there's like a countdown keyed into it. Yeah, it will explode, and the work on the inside, there's a little bit of quicksilver to enhance the explosion as well as the magical effect, and we were able to program them to display different types of things. So you might have one explode as like a dragon that chases across the sky, or something. It's quite impressive. It was the work of a senior last year. This was their senior thesis project.
That is ingenious.
It's quite.
I would love to get a closer look at some point in the night, if that is possible.
Oh, well, I would be happy to. And he kind of searches in a bag for a moment, and he kind of pulls out, here, it's a copy. And he hands over just like, it's a small kind of written parchment or whatever, and you're scrolling through, and it's the, basically blueprints of the design.
Ooh.
To encourage the exchange of communication between the Nuavian artificers, of course, and the Halls of Origination, as we are hoping to build a stronger communication between the two.
I appreciate the gesture. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Then I'll just kind of schmooze and peruse the rest of the night with him,
Okay.
or the rest of the time with him.
All right. As you kind of walk away and that conversation ends or whatever, you do see entering the hall across the way, dressed very gallantly, Jaren Pole enters into the mess.
Excuse myself and walk over to... Where's Jaren? Oh, yeah, I'll excuse myself and walk over to...
Very nonchalantly.
Abel, would you like me to go with you on this too?
That is not necessary, Father. I will be just fine.
Well,
and enjoy yourselves.
Well, the king should be making his appearance soon, so just...
I am sure I won't miss it. Thank you, Father.
All right. And he kind of goes off to talk to Lunaria. All right, so you make your way to Jaren, and Jaren's standing slightly uncomfortably in the doorway.
I go to him. I must say I'm glad to see you, but is it safe for you to be here?
And I imagine the last place that they're going to blatantly arrest somebody would be in the palace on the king's birthday, right?
I don't know if that logic pans out, but...
Nobody showed up at the estate looking for me today. And by estate, I mean small second floor apartment over a apothecary, but... nobody showed up at marriage wager. The godmother says she hasn't heard anything. So they might be trying to either keep things hush-hush or the investigation is still underway.
They must know the items are missing. Perhaps they're trying to avoid embarrassment and keep the investigation quiet.
And perhaps the theft of more than just the rings might have thrown off a little bit of the investigation. I'm sure they're much more concerned about other items that may or may not be missing. And when he starts talking about that, he's casting to you, and you hear this in your head. He's not saying it out loud to you.
Okay. It's the message. Okay. Well, if you feel comfortable enough to be out in public, you might as well enjoy yourself. And the waiter walks by, I'll grab a flute of champagne.
Yeah. Well, I'm never one to turn down a free drink on a night off, as rare as they may come. Especially if I might be leaving Anavir's quicker than later.
So where do you plan to land once you leave?
Well, the only place that I've built up any more connections than here are Nuevia. So I might try to hop a boat out of Bogtown and head that way.
Nuevia is a good place to put down roots. I will say we will be leaving very soon ourselves, so you want a good group of travel companions. The ticket takers are extremely entertaining.
Well, if you're heading that way, I might take you up on the offer. Boat to Nuevia is quite a long excursion. Are you all ready for such an expedition?
Airship to Nuevia probably would not be as long.
Oh, an airship. Is it a Nuevian airship?
It is similar to Nuevian design.
I've been wanting to see one of those up close. They're such intelligently designed mechanisms.
Oh, they are amazingly designed. Perhaps when we are on the ship, we can give it a good once-over.
Wow, well, I'd love to take a look.
Yes.
I'll let you know one way or the other. When are you all leaving town?
Quite early tomorrow morning.
Oh, so sudden.
Right? That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that gives me 12 hours to make a decision one way or the other about the future of my home. So he grabs another champagne flute from another passing person and drinks that. You're not drinking anything, Abel?
I'm having, as Mariah Carey would say, splashes of champagne.
And he kind of toasts you, to a night of not worrying about our burdens or cares.
Exactly. We have plenty of time to worry about those tomorrow.
Right.
And we'll just chit-chat and have a good time.
I feel like you look across and Jerry's like looking at you from like across the way with Nyra, like, do you see them? Look, they're standing over there together.
It was like,
oh my god, he's
look at Wade.
The guy next to Abel, he's so handsome. What's his name, Jerry?
I thought he was your friend.
Jaren? Oh, that's Jaren? And like he's like
Jaren.
No, Lord.
He's like,
I
I need better glasses. I don't wear glasses, Jerry. He's like looking across.
Come on, I might have to major restoration you or something.
Nyroy is also a little tipsy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's tipsy. And so because he uncomfortably was drinking a lot.
Yep, I'm stone cold sober.
But like he doesn't, from the distance that you are, he doesn't immediately recognize Jaren. But he's
Aren't they cute? Do you want to go bully Abel? It's so fun.
Oh no, that's so awkward. Why would we do that? That's so mean.
Because it's funny. I mean,
is it funny to bully somebody?
Like in a fun way, like about how cute they are together.
So, Jerry, you are showing me the ropes. You've taught me that I'm not a good liar. Let's find out if I'm a good bullier.
We'll see if you're a good
When they walked over, Abel and Jared being real
take
nerdy, and we're looking at the schematics.
Are you guys seriously talking about schematics at a fucking party?
Jerry, you have to understand. Like, look, this sigil right here.
What do you want to go to a fucking library?
What,
What's
would you
happening?
like to? I don't know, an explosion in the air. We could make it look like a middle finger, just like floating in the air, like pointing right at the right person.
All right, Nyra, we're gonna go to a different spot. Never mind. You can't bully people like this. This is sad.
No,
As you walk away,
intellect is too high
Naira's just
for
like,
you to
right,
bully.
nerds. And just-
Yes, you're a great bully.
Oh,
Oh my god,
we
you're
are going to
amazing
be
at being a
horribly
bully.
influenced on that video.
I kind of wanted to see what the schematic was about, but I didn't. I didn't want to admit it.
Abel hears
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Well,
Did
looks
my
like
dad
you
make?
missed out now. So
Do you get that from my dad in his stupid school? Whatever. I don't care
Right.
at all.
As you're walking away from this, Jordan, you kind of turn away from that and you're heading back across, and you see walking in your direction your father.
Oh my god. Naira, this is about
Do
to
I
get
see
like.
this?
I want to.
Yeah, you would have come in from talking to Thornton by this point, and so kind of you see Warren. You don't know what Warren looks like, but you see Jordan, and they're definitely looking at this man approaching them, and the look of what would Jordan's expression be seeing their father?
I feel like to anyone else, it looks like they're totally composed and fine, but someone like Saurus who knows Jury can just see their like hand in a fist, essentially.
Abel's gonna scoot a bit closer just in case things get a little.
I'm like,
Yeah,
guys, this is about.
I'll make my way over there.
Okay.
I tell Abel, I'm like, take Naira somewhere. This won't be awkward, please. If you'll
Are you
just.
sure you don't want me to stick around?
I've got Saurus and I need answers. So
Abel, I've heard stay away from the crab cakes. Apparently they're poisoned.
they are poison.
Perhaps we should go and spread the word then, and I'll.
Except don't tell Whistleton.
Right. And Jaren goes.
Roy.
Jaren says, "I ate a crab cake when I got here."
We've got lesser restoration. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
All right, so the bows and Abel head off in the other direction. The bows and Abel.
I have two handsome men with me now, so.
You
And
bitch.
Windsor approaches, and he's like, he holds out his hands. I come unarmed.
Except with your words, I suppose.
I would like to first apologize. When I heard that you were in town and that you were staying at a certain location, I immediately, after landing the airship, went to go find you. I'm sorry I had not read the news. Jordan, I apologize for any... I didn't mean to offend in any way.
Sure.
I don't really know how to have a conversation with you.
Tell me what happened. Tell me why my mom left.
He kind of looks around at the number of people that are kind of around you right now, and like 3 of them within the vicinity immediately go like listening. I think this could be a conversation we have in a slightly more private place.
Oh, it will be. Or we'll come right back out and I'll make it a big deal. I don't have a reputation at stake. You do. Now let's go.
So he kind of leads you to the terrace, and he kind of goes next to one of the fountains where the tinkling of the water kind of would drown out any listening conversation.
I'll take up post nearby and make sure no one comes close, but I'm also close enough that if Jury needs me, I can get there.
Okay. Yeah, you can
an
like
instant.
get near the other fountain across the way and just keep an eye on what they're doing and slightly overhear what they're talking about. Jordan, your mother was never happy in Cinderville.
Why was that?
It is not a place where one who looks for beauty in the world is going to be pleased. It's an industrial center. It is a place of invention and manufacturing. It is not a place of gardens and natural splendor.
You're going to tell me you honestly had no part in this?
I spent many hours away from home at the halls of origination, and I knew your mother was not happy, and I stayed longer away. and I let her live in that unhappiness alone. And that is my fault. You are rolling.
I was gonna say, who's rolling?
Somebody's rolling inside.
Someone's listening.
Abel's just rolling for fun.
Rolling nerddom.
He's had a Nancy crawl over to this side of the roof. I am not innocent in your mother's leaving, but I will not apologize for her abandoning her son.
Are you telling me she seriously left no message for me, no nothing?
Your mother is a child of the winds. She taught you to worship Aolasar for a reason.
You know, when I went and left, because when I went to college, when I came back, you know I stole it, right? And I like swiveled the dulcimer around. I know you kept it from me. And that's why I ran away. I found it when I came back.
Yes, she left you her dulcimer.
You think that's not something you should give to me?
I didn't want you to go off and become a wayward spirit, untethered to anything. I have tried to teach you from your youth to honor family and to honor our commitments to our name and to our roles and positions in life.
No. You didn't want a child. You wanted a pawn. You wanted something to parade around at parties, to get your reputation back in order because of how Grandpa fucked it. That's what this whole thing's about.
I wanted an heir, Jordan. I wanted somebody who would take over when I inevitably die. And you did not want to be an artificer, even though you had the gifts, you had the ability. And so I paid for you to go off to that bard school so that at least you could display some kind of learning. And perhaps that was my mistake, that I sent you off away from home and did not keep you where you could be cared for and watched and raised properly.
You know what I needed? I needed a family. I needed them to be honest with me. That's what I needed.
Well, if you want to know why your mother left, ask her yourself and then have her tell me, because I've been asking for the last 10 years.
You've been in contact with her?
No, I don't know where she is.
I feel like I have to roll deception because I want to smirk at him.
Okay.
Because I know. Okay, I rolled 26.
He has good stuff.
Okay, tell me if he beats that.
26.
26 to okay, good.
23. And so he just, I didn't tell you why your mother left because I didn't want to hurt you. She left in the night, leaving only the dulcimer behind. No letter, no warning, no words. Sorry, there was a flower and a dulcimer.
That means something. That means she cared, and you took that away from me.
I'm sorry that you see it that way.
Well, I didn't have much of a choice, did I?
But now you
and
are...
don't act like you're all innocent in this either. Doing this power play as soon as I get back into the city, you try to trap me in the Adventurers Guild.
I know that getting you to come home would not have happened in a way that could end in an amicable way for either of us. But I thought being part of something organized and recognized would help your station, especially considering that you had just broken the law and should be smoldering in jail right now. You would think that you would thank me for rescuing you from that.
Thank you? That's insane. No. I don't have to thank you for anything.
And
If anything,
I don't have to forgive you either.
Oh, that is rich. That is incredibly rich.
But Jury, you are the heir of the Windsors.
I'm only whoever I choose to be. You think I'm here because you're trying to keep tabs on me through the Adventurers Guild? If I wanted to be gone, I'd be gone again. And the only reason I'm here is because they're my new family. Did you get that?
Just like your mother, then.
Yeah. And you're going to regret giving me the Windsor name. I plan on it.
That can be fixed if must be.
Have fun making a new heir.
Well, the home is always open to you when you change your mind.
Ha! Hysterical. Yeah. No, I'm done. I'm done with this. This is the worst conversation I've ever had. Goodbye.
He lets you go without stopping you. Do you want to roll insight for anything that he said?
I want to roll insight on him talking about my mom, like if he's being truthful about all of that.
Okay.
I rolled 18.
18. It's weird. If you've ever watched somebody speak a half-truth.
Okay, that changes things. Before I leave, I look at him. I cast suggestion on her dulcimer. I'm like, you know what this is. I cast suggestion.
Okay.
So he needs to make, and it's at disadvantage because of the dulcimer, because it's a charm.
Yeah. What's the same? What is it? Is it charisma?
I think so.
Or wisdom.
Sorry. I'm looking at it. I feel like it's wisdom, maybe. Blah, wisdom saving throw. And it's disadvantage because I'm charming them.
He has good wisdom. That is a 12.
Yeah, he fails. I say, tell me the whole truth about my mom.
Well, I loved your mother. And she maybe loved me at one point. But when I told her that she could not travel the world, could not leave home for long periods of time to go see things outside of her duty, she did not like that. She shut me out. And so I locked her in the palace, or in the manor house, made her manage the estate. And then she ran away, abandoning her daughter, her son.
I don't think I have to point out to you what you did wrong there. I think that's pretty fucking obvious.
As the spell fades, he kind of shakes.
I've learned a lot since I've been away.
And he doesn't say anything, knowing that you cast a spell.
Yeah. I wanted him to know that I had that kind of power over him.
And he just kind of turns from you. And then as you are walking away, he does say, you know, relationships require two people, and your mother never signed on.
You know, maybe you didn't give her the chance. The full person to be able to do that.
And I guess that is what you inherited from her.
No, I've got a hot guy in the ballroom. He's awesome. And guess what? He doesn't even have a good job. It's great. You know,
this is my bad boy. He's unemployed.
He's a struggling writer. Take that, Dad. Fuck you.
And
guess what? You don't get to meet him. Goodbye.
He just drinks and sits outside.
Don't talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye.
Right. As you're heading back in, the trumpets begin to blare.
I will meet up with Jordan and go, do I need to go break him?
I just like pull you in for a hug, Saurus.
And I give you one back.
And I'm like, thank you. It's really hard. I'll walk back out with you.
All right. So as you are entering back in, and as everyone else is kind of like going about their work, the trumpets blare, and everyone's attention is drawn to that second floor balcony that's coming in from an ornate door on that side, which is the kind of the upper chambers of the audience chamber. And you all watch as, dressed in a very regal outfit, Yusef Arafan steps out and announces to everyone, people of Alyria, we welcome our king on his birthday, his 17th year. Please give him the warmest of welcomes. And he bows deeply as King Renly walks in dressed in his most ornate of outfits and bearing a scepter in one hand, and he's wearing his crown. And then a few steps behind him in her very non-conventional dress, Alyria kind of comes in behind him.
Yes.
Her hair braided down her neck, and she's also wearing a tiara. And then Renly kind of welcomes everybody, or kind of raises his arms and welcomes everybody. Thank you to the people of Alyria for welcoming me on my birthday. It is only one more year before I will step into the role I was born to play as your king. And I hope that the welcome next year will be as good as this one, and that I will be as good of a king as you have shown the love to me. Please enjoy your evening, and we will have an explosive show for you all in about 45 minutes. But please enjoy the work around, and it'll be lovely to see you. And he, yes.
None of the players liked how you said that, Josh.
Can I make an insight check on Redley?
On Renly? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No one liked that you said explosive.
I didn't like explosive.
No.
Sorry, only the halls of origination.
That's what I'm like, that sounds like a slide joke. If I've
Only
ever
the halls of
fucking
origination people, you have called them fireworks. So.
That's true.
I do want to make an insight check as well.
Okay, Renly, go ahead. Yeah.
23.
Yeah, he's just
21.
like, it's like struggling with what to call this new invention, and so he just was like, they're told me it's gonna be an explosion, and also like it's a little bit of a surprise. Like he was stumbling to find the right word, and that's the word he landed on.
All right.
All right. He doesn't grow a mustache and twirl it.
No. What you notice about Renly is
What's
that he is very uncomfortable in this position of attention being placed on him, and so there's like a reluctance to speak in those senses. Yeah.
Once this moment kind of happens, does Yusef like disperse anywhere, or does he like stick with Renly? Like what's
Okay.
my man up to?
So Renly comes down. So the staircases go up to like a middle point and then go into a single staircase up to where they are. Renly comes down to the middle point, and there are guards that kind of go down and block places. And people line up to go up to wish him a happy birthday one at a time. Yusef stays on the second floor, kind of looking out over everything that's happening in the space, and kind of just observing what's happening, and not putting himself in a position where he's drawing attention away from people welcoming the king.
All right.
Alyria does come downstairs, and she goes onto the ball floor and makes a wide berth from Unali Troma and grabs something to drink, and kind of sees you from across the way and just nods in your direction.
At me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I very awkwardly nod and then walk away very quickly. I don't know how to deal with Alyria right now.
Yeah, and she's there kind of drinking, and people are coming up and talking to her as they're waiting to go get in line to wish the king a happy birthday.
I find Kaimana.
Okay.
Oh no. that makes me nervous.
Oh gosh.
Time.
No, I knew that's what you were gonna say.
No, we know.
Not yet.
Okay.
I say hi
Kaimana
to-
showed restraint.
Oh god.
I
Do
want
we
to
have
say
to roll
hi
a
to-
wisdom save for that? Jesus.
I want to say hi to the king first before we ruin his party.
Fair enough.
It's the polite thing to do.
Okay, so you get if you want to say hi to the king, you can get in line to say
I'll
hi.
get in line.
Okay, cool. So anybody else?
Definitely gets in line.
Yeah, I'll get in line with
Hell
Kaimani.
no,
I mean, is it
don't
like
talk to the
customary?
king. Absolutely not.
So you can ask somebody, Marlo, if it's expected of you.
I feel like I can read a room and like tell.
As
You do
leader
not
of the
see-
ticket takers, I feel like one of us is
Yeah,
enough.
you don't see everybody going in line.
Great.
But
Then I
you-
like Kaimani for this
Yeah,
one.
you
I
do see
looked-
like the
Yeah.
representatives of different groups and organizations are clearly getting in line
Right.
because they're schmoozing on the king's birthday. When they're going to come ask for something in a year, they want him to remember who they are.
Right, for sure.
I looked to Mar and I'm like, you want to go find and sell?
What?
She said she was working tonight.
I mean,
I can message
why?
her.
Do you want to go find Bolton?
Yeah, he like yelled at my dad. It was awesome. I mean,
Oh,
he didn't
no.
yell, but he like roughly told
Do you-
him off.
Is that what it takes for you? People yelling at your dad?
For me to say thank you?
Talk about bullying.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Yeah, let's go find them.
I don't even know if Bolton's working tonight. And I
don't
think
know
if I
either.
message him again, he will kill me probably.
So you're going to use the sending, or you're going to try to just
No, I'm gonna
randomly
message-
and
I'm
hope that
gonna
you-
randomly message around and try to find Ansel because I
Okay,
know she's here.
So you spend a moment kind of just randomly sending messages in different directions to see if it hits
Gotta be
Enzel.
somewhere over here.
I
And
wish
then
I could fucking drink tonight. Oh,
finally,
terrible.
you turn and you're like, well, surely not. You point into the direction where the king is, into the space beyond the king, like the audience chamber room or whatever, and you send out the message. What are you sending to Enzel?
I'm like, hi Ansel, are you busy working? I'm with Mar. You can't hear what I'm
The
saying.
message comes back, Jordan, quite busy. We are the guard and protection for the king this evening, so keeping a very close eye. Bolton, do you want to say hello?
I like aim over a little bit and I'm like, hi Bolton. I hope you're having a good evening. Thanks for telling off my dad.
He messages back, quite busy. I genuinely hope you have a good evening, Jordan.
I messaged back. I'm like, "Are you hitting on me? What's happening?"
You don't
wait,
hear
no,
a
you're
res-
just
you don't hear a
being
res-
nice.
You don't hear a response to you because he knows how the message spell works, but also like he goes to talk, but he's talking to Enzel, so you really just hear him talking to Enzel. Why would he think that I'm hitting on him? He's done nothing but destroy my life. And like, so
They're
it
the
cuts
worst,
out. They are the worst. And so he like it cuts off, and then it just cuts off. Yes.
Incredible.
Beautiful.
Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
I told you he doesn't like me.
Unless.
But it seems that the risk breakers are behind the scenes for the evening.
I tell
But that's
you
good to
this.
know.
Yeah, I tell you this. They seem really busy. I might have to try to
I mean,
attack
yeah.
the king. Might
Shit's
have to try
happening all
to-
the time here.
We have to try to attack the king if we want to get on sell out here.
Why would I look
That's
around?
a joke. That's a joke. That's like the biggest joke I've ever
Let's
seen.
see. Okay, no, nobody around you is paying attention to that. So,
Oh my god.
What
What is with all of you tonight?
It's a party. Whenever.
Are you drunk?
I'm really not, which is the worst part. I'm trying to stay
That
sober.
is
this
terrible.
whole
I was
time.
trying to give you an out. Like,
It's, you know, and if
how is that other conversation? You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
no, it was hard, but it had to happen.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to the other party involved soon. So
Exactly.
there's a lot of answers I need on both sides. I'm figuring out.
Sure.
And I put a hand on your shoulder, and I'm like, I know tonight's gonna be like really hard for you too. So-
Well,
I mean, if you need anything,
I need to not
I need yes.
but
Yeah.
that's
Well,
not
whenever you
something
need, yeah.
so
but I want you to be safe. You're part of my family, my real family.
Yeah, I am.
And you look so stunning, and Zale's not even out here. I'm so mad.
I just I didn't do it for.
No, but you should be seen.
What am I in this space if not being seen?
Well, I mean, you're kind of walking around like.
All right. I mean,
just like a little bit stiff.
I don't know. I got a time limit here.
Have you ever seen like when you put clothes on a dog?
No, I don't appreciate dog jokes, and I had to sit down with the rest of them very early on in this process. And I had to have this conversation.
Understand that was disrespectful. I'm so sorry.
No, I will remember.
You put an animal, and you're like, I mean, little Saurus has like a little suit on, and it's fine, but that's different.
You could have said any other animal is the thing, but you said dog, and I just think that
Can I get you a drink? I mean, can I help in any way?
I'm completely messing with you. I don't care.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Right. I see the folly.
Amalia does come around at that moment, and she does have drinks, and she's like, Jordan, and hands you one, and Marlo, this was the juice that they had, Marlo. I don't think they have much to offer for non-alcoholic choices, but
that's fine.
Well, what a lovely family we are this evening. So I just want to say thank you for inviting me, and as stressful as it might be with the moon rising soon. So
yeah. Do you guys think you're gonna be okay?
Yes, I was speaking to there's a god, and Alora actually told them to allow Marlo and myself entrance to the entrance to the moon veil at the back of the palace. So we'll be able to go off to that when we need to.
Okay,
that's great. Yeah.
And if anything even seems off, or like something's wrong or anything, you let me know. We'll all be here immediately.
Of course, thank you. It should be okay. I'm quite used to it, and I think Ma's probably grown stronger in it, so it should not be
been a while.
A problem.
Can I talk to you about what my dad told me?
Sure.
I just wanted to
want me to step away?
No, you can stay here. I just like rehashed the conversation with her.
Well, if I know my brother well enough, I would say that even if he was to blame for any part of it, he would not himself notice that it was his fault.
Yeah.
He probably truly sees himself as innocent in all of this.
Yeah, he made that very apparent by talking about his bad decisions as if they were just normal decisions.
He has always felt the need, as an older brother, whose father died younger than most, that he has always been in charge, and that his choices matter because he is the Windsor.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It is. But you never have to see him again after tonight if you don't want to.
Yeah. And me and Mar were thinking about we just got a shit ton of money, and we were thinking about getting you a new place to live wherever you want.
Well, I mean, I do have my own manor house. I just need to go reclaim it at some point.
Yeah, but if you want like a little like beach house or something else where you don't want to be there,
you might need to put the funds actually into that manor.
Yeah, if you needed some restoration stuff.
Yeah, I think it's.
We'd be happy. I'd be happy.
Wow, I appreciate it. We'll see where the winds take us.
Yeah. And then I want to be like, have you met Nairoy? And like, because they like, I feel like they were in the carriage, but they didn't get introduced.
So they
like,
introduce and they have
this
a
my
nice
aunt.
Conversation. Like, oh, I've heard so much about you. Like, and then it's a conversation. All right. So
Ritual.
about 30 minutes in line, Kaimana. And finally, Kaimana, Abel, Soros, did you line up to see the king too? So Kaimana, Abel, and Soros, you are staying in line.
I did it mainly to witness Kaimana's interaction with the king.
You get up
I feel
to
like
the front.
Abel will warn him, like, he's wearing a lot of shiny things. So please,
Yes.
just ready yourself.
I keep my eyes on the floor
So
in deference.
eventually you reach the front of the line and a guard is standing there and kind of says, just hold on a moment. And then the person in front of you goes up and they exchange their pleasantries with the king. And then they go down the opposite staircase. And then the guard says, all right, all three of you, that's perfectly okay. Approach. Do not touch unless he offers a hand, and make sure you bow, of course, to show deference.
This is like meeting Ariel at Disney World.
Yes, it is.
One picture each.
But you may approach.
There's plexiglass between you.
Yeah.
So you come up and Rinley, hello. I do not mean to be forward, but I know that you are friends of my sister. So welcome. Thank you for coming to my birthday.
You're most gracious, King Renly. It is most wonderful to finally meet your grace. Allow us, the Adventurers Guild, to present you with a token of our appreciation and deference.
Somebody like an aide or attendant comes up to take it from you. And the king says, oh, no, I'll take this one, thank you. And says, okay, yes, of course, come on up.
I'll put a lei around Renly's neck.
Oh, okay. You go to make that maneuver, and you see a couple guards like move closer, and Renly like holds up a hand, and then he dips his head a little bit. Never bows his head because bowing to you, so he dips his.
No,
head
I'm like low and like holding up, and
and so you can slide it over. It like gets caught in the back of his crown for a moment, but then you correct, and it kind of comes over. What color lei did you give him? He's wearing red for his birthday, but
okay, yellow.
Okay, so a yellow. And he kind of says, I've heard this was my mother's favorite color. Thank you.
You are most welcome, Your Grace.
So Kaimana, the leader of the ticket takers, I've been told, and Soros and Abel, of course. Thank you for being such a good friend to my sister through her youth.
Yes.
And so we
most
shall be
welcome, Your
moving.
Grace.
We spent a lot of time together, and she spoke of you often. I have my own gift that I wish to present to you, and I'll just pull out of my pocket just like a little simple stone base that Jaren helped me carve when we were hanging out last night, and I'll touch it and imbue it with my magical tinkering ability, and it's an image of him and his sister, just standing next to each other, something sweet like that.
Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you, Abel. He kind of takes it for a moment and kind of watches as the static image it kind of slowly rotates there in front of him. It's so odd. I feel like you are more a brother to her than I am, and not because of anything other than we grew up separately, but it has been a joy to get to see her as the young woman that she has become, and I think in some ways that is because of you and your family, so I appreciate. Thank you so much. This is very meaningful. He hands it gently off to the attendant, who sets it on a table at the back, and it's sitting there so it's safe out of the way.
I'm glad you like the gift, my king. Family is my king. No. King Ridley.
King Ridley, yeah. Family is everything.
It's so important, and
yes.
I wish to give you a reminder of that.
Of course. Thank you. All right. If you are, there are people waiting. So
All
right. So you move on. All right. Anything else you all want to accomplish before they're going to announce the fireworks soon. So if there's anything else in the next 15 minutes or so of the celebration before that.
Are there any potted plants?
Oh, no.
Here, finally. God.
So in this space, there are a few small, like overflowing pots of various kind of flowers. Like at each column point, there's a few hanging flower pots from the ceiling, but the largest expanse of open dirt or anything would be out on the terrace. Where there is like gardens that line the terrace and go out onto the balcony of the terrace.
All right, so I've got 3 beans left.
Only 3?
Only 3.
I thought we had
Make
4.
them count.
Okay, we'll say 4.
I thought you had more than
We'll check the tape and see how many beans.
Yeah. We'll say 4 going forward. So I'm going to take 1 because according to the spell, they only activate after they've been watered.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, smart.
I'm going to take 1 and I'm just going to press it into the soil of one of the potted plants in the room.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to have the other one ready for if we go out on the terrace for the fireworks.
Okay. All right.
Can I look around and see if anyone noticed him doing that?
Are you being subtle about this kind of?
Yeah, I'm like looking at the plants,
Okay,
just
make a
like
slight-
And I'm helping distract people, like make it like look like, oh, Kaimon is showing me the planet and telling
make a
me
sleight
about
of
it.
hand check with advantage,
all right.
and make a perception check able to see if anybody's watching.
Oh God.
Even if I see Kaimana do it, I let him because I technically told him he could.
17.
17.
I wouldn't know what he's doing anyway, so
All right. And my
don't know
general
about
general
these.
guard roll was good, but it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
They rolled a 14. And so
Hey!
maybe I just roll perception to see if
Good job, guard.
Good job.
It's not a
Double
nat
digits.
one.
That's doing
Yeah.
something.
that's we're moving into
Palace
above
guards
average.
versus the average
They
guard.
woke
Yeah.
up.
They did. These are
Well, it's a big day.
These are
like if we fuck up today, like,
I was
that's
about
it.
to say they only had some god weapons get stolen for them to
That's
shape
true.
up.
We are in the
These are
shit list,
regular
guys.
cuffs with the FBI on top of their ass.
Yeah.
We cannot fuck up tonight, guys. We have been like shitting the bed this last month. Like,
All right. So you plant one there. It's kind of halfway down the room on one of the columns that's supporting like kind of the second floor balcony. And then you go
just
out
just waiting on some poor gardener to ruin his
Oh,
day.
Lord.
Like,
You go out to the terrace. Do you want to do it? So there's a part of the terrace that has an overhang, so it'd be protected from the rain. Or do you want to do it out onto the open part of the terrace where when it rains, it gets watered?
I've just got it palmed. It's my distraction in case
Something
shit
happens.
goes- yeah.
Sounds good. All right, cool.
Okay.
So
Can I have like
go ahead.
one tiny, just
Yep,
little
sure.
quick? Sorry, guys.
Nope.
I just want to take Naira off to like the terrace for a second.
Okay.
If anyone's out on the terrace, I'm like, leave the terrace. Like, get off the terrace.
There's nobody out here right now because like most people are
Okay.
like, oh, the king's inside, so they're in there showing their deference to the king. And the only person is Darkon, who's like at the end of the terrace, like overlooking the city, kind of drinking by himself. But other than that, nobody is out on the terrace.
I tell Darkon where the best free drinks are in the king's birthday. I'm like, if you go to the table on the other side.
Okay. Make a persuasion check because
Okay,
Darkon.
good.
Stop.
Darkon, please
All of
leave.
you are enabling
Please
this
leave.
man.
I got a
Man.
15, so
15, let's see.
I don't know if that's enough to convince
Well-
this alcoholic to get off the.
With disadvantage. Okay. So he goes, oh, my flask is almost empty. So he
Yeah, they're
he
opening a
heads inside.
special bottle of something.
He goes inside a little, not like drunk, but like not walking a straight line.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just want to tell Naira and be like, hey, sorry if I'm like being super weird this evening. It's really weird to be back in like a formal thing as a Windsor.
Oh, I mean, you seem to be doing it much better than I am. And he's like airing himself out. Like you can tell he's like sweating and nervous. Like,
I feel like that too. It's just I'm better at hiding it. So
well, I wish I had half of your composure then.
thanks. I don't know what's gonna happen when these like fireworks go off, or if like something crazy is gonna happen. So
Are fireworks dangerous? I've never seen them before, really. Except for, like,
I don't think they're supposed to be, but given the circumstances of everything else, maybe. But did it's so awkward. Did Tallulah tell you what my bargain was for?
No, I haven't seen her today.
We're leaving tomorrow morning, and
Oh.
but like you're kind of like leaving tomorrow morning too, or whenever is good for you, because for my bargain I asked that you be teleported to your parents with your whatever you wanted, so that's what I asked for.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, you used your bargain for that? She could have given you almost anything, Jordan.
You gave me the only thing I've ever wanted, which was to know where my mom was. So it meant a lot.
I haven't seen my parents in so long.
And they might be in danger too. You said they live in I forget what it's called. The
Veltland.
The Veltland.
The Veltland, yeah. You said they live in the Veltland. There's this like cult that's like encroaching on the Veltland. They're called the Star Speakers. So you need to go and make sure your family is okay.
Oh. Well, then I guess I should go sooner than...
It's not immediate. It's not like an immediate threat, but they're moving in. So I want to make sure your family's safe too. The way you helped me with mine.
And here I was hoping that I had a few more days to get to know you a little better before you were gone.
Yeah, but I got like the sending spell, so I could message you, I guess. But I didn't want to just leave and not say anything. I had that happen to me, and it sucks.
Well, I appreciate it. I did, since this may be a sort of goodbye, he reaches into a pocket and pulls out a letter and hands it to you. And then he kind of reaches into a satchel next to him, and I'm not a skilled carver. I apologize. But here, I made this for you as well. And you see there's like a glass etching carved onto like it's not a gemstone as much. It's like cubic zirconium or whatever, but like an etching onto it that looks very much like a wisteria vine. I hope you find your mother.
I will, with your help. Thank you.
And we'll keep it. I don't know why I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like this is goodbye, and we have this evening together.
Yeah. Do you remember like that part in Virgin Meadows where like the main character wants to go become a horse doctor, and like the guy has to stay home with the estate, and so they're like torn apart, and then the book skips ahead 7 years for some reason? That's like crazy. Like, why would it just cut out all that time? But then they come back together, and it's like chill.
I mean, apparently, I will tell you that the author of Virgin Meadows died while writing it. And that
explains why it sounds totally different in the second half.
The editor had to come in and wrote the second half of the ending.
Oh, the second half's way better, though.
Yeah.
Way better.
Well, I mean, don't tell the author of Virgin Meadows that. They would be rolling in their grave.
Yeah.
But what I won't say goodbye now because we have the evening together, but I will say, Joe, it has been a pleasure to get to know you.
Yeah.
And,
yep.
And I hope your journeys bring you back and our paths cross.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm so embarrassed right now. We have to go back. We have to go back
at that moment. So you guys are on the terrace anyway.
Yeah.
So at that moment, those of you who are inside, you hear kind of the trumpets announce an announcement, and Yusef kind of calls from the top, and he says, "And now, if everyone will please make their way to the terrace, Warren Windsor and the Halls of Origination have put together a show for all of you, if you will make your way there." And so you make your way with the group of people. Yes.
Does
Forrest.
Renly go out?
Renly does. He's flanked by 5 guards.
Does Uriel go out?
All of the Curia Regis members go out,
including Yusef.
Yusef comes down and joins, and he's walking with the king.
Okay, I will get as close as I can between Renly and Uriel. Obviously, I have to stay back some, but I get myself on basically close to where they are.
Uriel and Tarlo kind of go one way, and then like Lunaria and Unali go off in one direction, and Thornton and Darkon go off one direction. So you can kind of stand between Uriel and Yusef, and you can position yourself for it. All right, so you got, and there's like, I'm going to use lighting for this because so like the lights from the city rising up, and the sun has now set, and so there's this dark kind of twilight that's setting over the city.
The sun has set, you said?
The sun is set, but the moon's not rising for a while.
Perfect. Love that.
And you get out, and suddenly you notice that the airships are beginning to move in a circle around the palace. And the first airship releases, and you see this bead of energy fly into the sky, and then poof, explodes into a rose shape. And you notice it's part of the crest of the royal family of Bellinor, is this reddish rose. And then another one comes from another side, and poof, it bursts into this blue flower on the other side, explodes. And then all of them suddenly start releasing, and you just see a bouquet of flowers of various colors flashing and bursting into the sky from all of these. And then the first round of kind of fire like dies down, and just the general twilight. And then there's another round of explosions that are going off, and these are all taking the shape of mythical beasts. So a giant dragon pops into the air and breathes fire that roars up into the night sky. And as the fire reaches the end, it explodes out into 1,000,000 dazzling lights that slowly leave trails as they fall down. Immediately, another giant explosion kind of rises up, and this large sea creature kind of takes form, and it's almost like waves washing off of its tentacles and splashing out around you, and there's just these glittering lights that are following down around your head. And then finally, like this tree sprouts up from another explosion, and it's this massive tree that its leaves begin to fall off and change colors into autumn, and then they drift down around you as this fireworks show is going. And then they have the final ultimate, like just boom, 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 boom of the fireworks rising up from the base. And then after about 5 minutes or so, you're left with just the twilight and the raining sparkle of just like sparkling like lights just raining from the sky. And as they land on you, like they don't burn or anything, but they just twinkle for a moment. And if you catch one in your palm, they just twinkle for a moment like a firefly, and then vanish into nothing. As soon as the show kind of ends, the audience like cheers and claps and roars, and Renly calls out, "That was amazing, Warren. Thank you so much for such a brilliant show." And you all see the attention being praised onto Warren Windsor, and the man
He didn't even do anything.
The man who actually designed the show
He didn't
standing
even
next
do
to him, not being given any attention.
Can I add on to his name?
Sure.
And the Hall of Origination from the Windsor family wants to acknowledge the work from them put.
And Warren says, of course, Maester von Bright, instrumental in creating such a display. And of course, the Crown's continued support of the Halls of Origination and our efforts. And he bows in the king's direction.
All right, so you know when like a small dog is like in a thunderstorm?
Oh no! This is scary. Just come on, I think it's
Why do you have to do this to us, Al?
These don't make explosions. They're just light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no booming sound because these are magical.
That's amazing. That's
these
way
are
better.
magical in essence. Also, fireworks don't have to make that sound either, but we do to make them sound like that.
Yep.
They can be much quieter.
Wow, suddenly I want to fight.
Matt.
Okay, in that case, come on, it's just got like
Bold.
Kama's got like teacup sized eyes. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as everyone kind of like begins to filter back in, Ogon has found you, Abel, and you notice now this is the first time you've seen Vicus this evening.
I was gonna ask where it's like.
Ogon kind of stops and he says, Abel, just a word on the terrace before we go back inside and join everyone else.
Sure thing, Father.
And everyone else kind of filters in and heads back inside. Are the rest of the ticket takers heading indoors?
I'm going to follow Uriel.
Okay, so Uriel Dane heads in and kind of takes the place at the point of the dance, because now the music's kind of kicking up into higher gear. People are actually going onto the dance floor now, but the Curie Regis are kind of spread out at the front of the dance place, and he's at the edge next to Tarlo and Tarlo's wife, and just watching what's happening.
I'm very hypocritical, but I don't want any of us to be left alone. So if I can like,
I was gonna do that. Yeah.
Well, I let you do it then, Mar. I'm like,
Okay.
we both look at each other and we're like, clocked. Good.
So
Okay,
I'm not going to be anywhere near earshot of Abel and his dad. Well, earshot for a normal person. And I'm going to be like, just kind of like by the door, just kind of like not in a rush, but just like making sure that they both come back in together and nothing will happen.
So Ogon,
but definitely in earshot for a while.
Yeah, Ogon and Vicus, and then the two sovereign guards that were with them kind of go up. Ogon pulls you towards the end of the terrace, Abel, and then the two sovereign guards go up and kind of guard the entrance to this part of the terrace. And then and Vicus is there, although Vicus isn't really paying attention to your conversation. He's just here with Ogon. And then so you're kind of talking there, and Ogon just says, you all have finalized your plans for leaving in the morning, I assume?
Yes, we have set everything, and there may be one or two people joining us, but everything is set and ready to go.
Of course.
What is there a problem?
Well, I was just thinking about our conversation from the night before, and I wanted to apologize for leaving it on such a, I'm sure, question-filled ending. Vicus, could you ask Renee if she could get me another glass of wine, please? And Vicus, of course, thank you, Ogon. And he heads back and goes to talk to one of the sovereign guards.
My dad sent a ruler in
Yes,
waiting.
he did.
Let's go next.
The real king.
That's a power move right there, buddy.
And then he's kind of, he looks and he says, I'm not sure if any of the work that we have done this week to reveal the truth about Noevia to the Alyrians has had any effect.
I believe there are those who are simply set on division and war, and hopefully the efforts of the ticket takers and others, along with your own father, will help to undo those goals of war.
I didn't want to leave something unsaid. If in the event things do not go well for us.
You're making me uncomfortable. What?
There has been a you know that the entire mountain that our kingdom is built on is made of Zephrosite, correct?
Yes.
And Zephrosite is quite a powerful arcane focus when used in the right hands. The hands of a truly gifted mage could work quite amazing magic with that much of a focus and power.
Are you all planning a spell?
And there is no greater magic in the world than perhaps your mother.
That we both agree upon.
I'm not sure if I don't know the order to tell you this in. It is quite something I've been meaning to say for a while, and I've been waiting for the Sovereign to allow us to tell you. But the Sovereign has decided that this must continue for some time, and I do not want to leave it unsaid. And he's gathering his thoughts. Marlo, where you're at, you hear a voice behind you. You're keeping tabs on Abel, then, are you? And Alyria is standing there.
Yeah, I just, no, I don't know. I'm paranoid. I just don't.
That's understandable. The Noavians are being very much watched this evening.
Yeah, I'd rather someone looking out for them be doing the one watching for once.
Is there another ticket taker that can watch so that you and I can have a conversation?
Yeah, let me go get my backup.
Jury, Jury runs to you. Jury was like watching you from across the
Right. So, Jury, you take Marlo's post, kind of watching this conversation. Okay. You're at like the head of the entrance to the terrace, and you're just watching this conversation happen at the end of the terrace.
Yeah, I don't have the super hearing that like Mar has, so I'm watching to make sure.
An insight track to just on Oakwan, I'm kind of specifically looking for, because I don't think he's like lying about anything, but is he leaving any like key details out besides what he's like building up to say? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, you can make an insight check.
Okay. Oh, that's funny. I rolled a 7, but because of my new subclass, it automatically bumps to an 8 on the die. So it's an 18.
Oh, that's a real?
Yep. Insightful rogue.
Insightful.
Yeah. So you are witnessing a man that you are very accustomed to seeing being like very confident in the ownership of everything in every space that he's in. You've never seen him falter or whatever. And you're witnessing a man who's really struggling to find words that he probably has intended to say for a long time, and doesn't know how to properly say them. So you can't tell that he's leaving anything out. It's just like when you're trying to tell somebody something and it's really hard to say.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah. So Jordan.
That this is Oakwan.
Yeah. So no, it's you definitely go.
I know. I understood from the emotional context that it was totally Oakwan.
You definitely get the sense this
annoying.
is Oakwan. Yeah. And so Alyria pulls you kind of off to the to a more excluded area of the kind of towards the entrance place where people were checking bags, so that you're a little bit out of earshot. Juridan takes the position to watch over Abel's conversation, and she kind of turns to you and just is like, I wanted to apologize if the other night I came across at all angry at you. I was not.
I mean, was I uncomfortable? Yeah, but I mean, not as much as you were. I was fine, so don't worry about me.
I know I was short with you, and I
think you had a bit of leeway on that one.
I did not properly express my thanks to you.
You don't have to. You don't have to thank me.
I do. I believe if you had been lied to your entire life, you would want to know that truth. And not everyone in the circle I find myself in here would be willing to tell me that truth. You saw Anali willing to live a lie to carry out their own ends, however they may be. And you threw all that aside because I mean more to you than power. And you might be the only person in my life that feels that way right now, other than Abel. And so I do want to say thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Meanwhile, on the terrace, Ogwon. So the sovereign, at around 18 years ago or so, asked your mother to do something. You're quite aware that they are sisters. And
Abel, wait a minute.
yes, you
Abel?
are aware.
The needle on the record.
Abel is aware whether or not Ronnie was aware.
Yes, Ronnie's not.
And then he says, but on the streets of Nuevia, if you were to ask anyone else, they would not know that. For the regular Nuevian, your mother is a powerful mage, and she rose through the ranks of a family and gained the recognition of the sovereign and was placed on the right hand of the sovereign as her war counselor and chief archmage. And there's a reason that this lie was put to the people. Why your mother cast through the Zephyr site in our mountain a modification of the memory of the people of Nuevia.
What?
And I believe that if our ship were to be intercepted tomorrow and I would be dead. He touches his necklace. Your mother would want me to be able to tell you. Meanwhile, at the front...
Meanwhile, he can and he will.
Gosh damn you.
Meanwhile, Alora at the front, talking to Marlo. I don't want to leave with the tomorrow. I want to go on the something ticket this way comes.
Yeah, easy. We are going to stop in Broadfield, so...
Oh, be nice to go back there. I guess.
Yeah, we'll just put you in disguise. It'll be great.
See how Sora's doing, I suppose.
Yeah, we have new members too.
That'll be
exciting.
exciting.
Yeah, we're expanding.
And she kind of she has like a little pouch bag next to her, and she kind of reaches in, and you can tell it's not a bag of holding, but it's a smaller version of a bag of holding. And she reaches in and pulls out the fez hat, and she says, "I've got it, and it's ready to go whenever we need it." So
great. I have to do a quick thing in the woods tonight.
Of course, yes.
Once I'm done, I think hopefully we're getting out of here pretty quickly. I got something for you. I pull out the cards that I got from that magic shop.
The dice?
Mm-hmm.
You got the dice? Oh, you're gonna give her the dice of illusion?
The dice were always. You guys just thought it was for Lenaria because you're rude and you always assume the worst of me.
Listen, I'm just messing. I live for the
Stop hitting on my childhood friend.
It's a beautiful, like.
I'm definitely not hitting on her.
It's a beautiful red hexagonal case.
Yeah.
And when you open them, they're these gorgeous glass dice. And you hand them to her, and she's like,
It's
beautiful. I don't play games, but they're gorgeous.
They're not. I got them from a magnet shop. They do like illusion stuff. Guy said people used to do them in Theta, but it didn't work out because the dice are random and it would randomly hit things.
Mm-hmm.
It's silly, and the idea of it made me laugh, and I thought that maybe you could use one of those right now.
Of course, yes. Jury, make a perception check for me, please.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Meanwhile, back out on the terrace.
Oh, I got an 18.
18.
Hell yeah, that's a great roll. I'm actually not that good at perception, so I'm very happy with that.
Okay.
Was it enough, Josh? What do you
All right.
mean? Was it enough?
Josh just like, okay, fam, cool stuff.
Damn it!
bro.
I rolled so
So, meanwhile, back out on the terrace, Ogon is struggling to tell you or talk to you, Abel, with this conversation. And you hear a voice at the head of the terrace, and it calls out, I hope I'm not interrupting anything. Jordan, you did not see them walk by you. And Alyria is standing there, Abel, and she walks up to you and, Abel, I just wanted to let you know, like,
Oh no!
But I look and I see too, right?
Well, so we'll say with the fact
Okay,
that
at what
the
point I
perception,
see
yeah,
them.
with
At
the
what point I
perception
see
check, like the natural 20 on this,
for sure, for
bypassing
sure.
yours, we'll see like
Damn.
how that goes. And
That's
she
fine,
kind
that's
of walks up and she says, like, I'm glad that
Can
you.
I tell if this is?
Yeah, make an insight check. I don't know why Abel would, but you can make an insight check if you want.
I mean, I feel like I know her pretty well.
Yeah. And she's just saying, I just wanted to make sure that we had our plan in place for tomorrow leaving. I can't be here that much longer. It's oppressive in this environment. And Ogon says, of course, Princess, I told you, we are going to guard you with every ounce of our being that we can.
I'll ask her, do you have the item that you need to... Oh, that's not a good thing. It's an 11 insight.
Oh no!
She says, yes, I've packed up. I have everything I need. I'm ready to go. You delivered the letter, of course, to the mail or to the post for publication tomorrow, correct?
This one knows about the letter, though, guys.
I told you they've been listening in on us. I knew.
And then Vicus comes back at that time with 2 goblets of wine, and he says, "Oh, I didn't know, my lady, I didn't know you were here. I would have brought you something to drink as well." And Alyria says, "Oh no, it's all right. I'm not drinking this evening, of course." And he hands Ogon a glass of wine, and then he takes one himself and kind of steps to the side. And then Alyria turns to you, Abel, and says, I have to just...
I swear to God, Joshua.
I have to thank you so much for how kind you've been for everything that has happened. I didn't know if I would survive the other evening but your spending the evening with me was everything that I needed to know that I could get you alone and take out 2 Nuavians in one strike. And I'm going to make 2 surprise attacks on you.
Oh, this
there's no way with
motherfucker.
a natural 20 that you knew who this person was.
Damn. Does silvery barbs work on a surprise attacks? I don't know if it does. Well, no, because they're surprised, so I can't use my reaction.
Anyway, so it would just be whatever.
Yes, I can't use my reaction. Jury's watching this like, I thought that was a
they're
Bora.
with advantage.
Jury's like,
How would they have known about us?
The
Now
third
just like-
attack. So the first 2 attacks were, and you're not wearing any armor too. So, so
Yikes.
as you watch the voice change, and it goes into the taking out 2 Nuavians in one strike. You stabs out, produces a dagger out of nowhere and strikes out at you. And you notice that as the way that the hand is gripping the dagger, it is reversed.
These
As the first stab comes out and hits you. As the first stab comes out and hits you.
It's a fucking Rakshasa.
That is
What is it?
Rakshasa. That is a 16 to hit on the first one.
Oh my God!
Oh my god,
sorry,
you're getting
so that
stabbed,
is-
bestie.
That's 7 points of blood piercing damage, And then he's going to use his martial.
Well, I shielded it, so it shouldn't hit.
Okay, so you shield. And then the second one was a 22 to hit.
Well, that's going to fuck me up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the second one, that is 11 points of piercing damage. And then the third one was a natural 20.
Oh Christ!
Wait a minute. Just let me get my stuff in order.
So
Alyria and Abel are such cute childhood friends. Oh, she's killing him. She's murdering him. That's not Alyria.
what I will allow, Jordan, is that when you hear a scream as as Abel's shielding himself from the
Very
first,
manly scream.
and then you hear
More of
another
a war cry, really.
another scream as the second dagger strike sinks into Abel's gut. And so you can, if you want to, use silvery barbs to make me re-roll that natural 20.
Please, God, dude.
Okay. Yeah. Because
Oh, and I chose my
Could I use my? Wait, no, because it's a reaction, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, is cutting words also reaction? So could I use cutting words instead?
Cutting
Use
words
my-
would not really change.
Okay,
the
just
natural
silvery?
20,
Okay,
because a
cool,
natural
cool,
20
cool.
hits automatically. So
I'll
silvery
see, I'll
barbs
see. Okay, I'm
would give
using.
disadvantage on the strike.
Absolutely, I will use silvery barbs.
Okay. So
I'm like, that's my friend now. Hey.
it's not a natural 20, but that was that a 17 or 16? 17. That is a 23 to hit. So the third one hits as well, and so that is 7 points of piercing damage, and he's going to use martial prowess on this one.
Yikes.
So you
Oh,
take
boy.
an additional 13 points of piercing damage, and you are kicked back 10 feet. I need Abel to make a dexterity saving throw because he's about to get pushed over the side of the railing.
There's so much damage happening to me. Another 13 points, you
Yes,
said?
and I need you to make a
Roll.
dexterity saving throw.
Someone should have rolled better.
Fucking hell.
God, what was your dad gonna say?
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, that's the worst part, right?
I wanted to know. I wasn't listening in, but I was watching.
16 dex save.
Okay, so you catch the side, and with Alora's visage there, like the bent grip on the dagger, it fades away, and you see standing in front of you a familiar Rakshasa back for revenge.
Oh,
The one from the lab?
And that's where we'll pick up next time.
The one from the lab
Oh,
that got
actually,
away?
sorry. Yes, that's not where we'll pick up next time. So, addendum.
Oh,
Ooh.
The rest of you.
you horrible person.
Uh-huh.
Marlowe grabbing Amalia to head to the back. She's guiding you through the palace. You're getting to the entrance to the woods, and Marlowe, you hear a wait. You stop. Do you stop?
Yeah, I think so.
Your friends will need you this time. Embrace the change. You hear Naginda's voice. Well, meanwhile, all of you hear an explosion from the East Tower room. And the entire room rocks. And you start to hear the sounds of things moving through the palace in your direction. And that's where we'll pick up next time.
I used the sitting stone to say, send the rats.
Send the rats. Okay. So
I was
that's
going
what
to make
we'll
this
pick up next time.
complete chaos.
Yes, I wanted, like, I realized I wanted if the Rakshasa was able to sneak past you all, that this would happen at the same time. So,
and I rolled
yeah.
so well that damn Rakshasa.
yeah, that was a
So-
20. And they, yeah.
How
To be fair,
old
it is
they
really
can
funny.
bind?
All right.
I like that we were so paranoid about the slot, we forgot that other things exist that can
that
disguise
hates the
themselves.
Nuavians
Yeah.
way more, also.
I would not
Yeah.
also the Shek's
That was my thing. I was like, why would the slot do this? This seems,
Why would the slot?
this seems
Why would
out
the
of
slot-
character.
The Slod's busy doing other things.
That was my thing. I was like, this seems so counterintuitive to what his whole deal was.
Just so y'all, here's our
Yeah.
Masquerade
Oh, a
ball.
battle map.
Uh-huh.
huh?
Yeah,
my
oh, that
God.
battle map.
Here's the
Uh-huh.
terrace out here where Abel currently is with his father, and
Oh
Vicus.
God, you're so far out.
Can you zoom a little more?
Yeah, so I haven't put Abel out here, but we can,
Well,
we
good
can
thing
go and
your
set up.
bard is the one that's close by.
So what I'll set up for next time, because we're going to be going straight into initiative count at the top, even though not everybody knows what's going on. Abel is here.
Now listen, Abel, we were friends, so I was watching out for you.
Well, I missed words for jury once I found out you were the lookout.
Ogowan's there. Vicus.
This would have never happened on Mars
Here.
Watch.
How dare you?
Would have never
How
happened.
dare you? Is that a
dude.
read?
These are the two guards.
We probably have similar perception. I'm kidding.
These are the
What's
two
your perce-
guards here.
+6.
Jordan,
okay.
you were at the door. So Jordan, you're back here.
I am at the door.
Okay. And then Marlo,
You've got one member near you, Abel.
Marlo and Alyria are up in this area.
Jury's a pretty powerful spellcaster. Rakshasa are pretty like.
Where
I
in
should
the
be
room would Soros and Kamana be?
Oh, I didn't say I went back in.
You didn't. Oh, well, I asked if all the ticket takers
Wait,
went back
from the
inside.
terrace? Well, I mean, you had to leave the terrace. Like,
Okay.
it was implied, I'm pretty sure,
Then
that the
near
Nuavians
near
wanted
the
to
buffet
talk.
table.
Well, so
Near the buffet
you're
table.
finding somebody. Let's see, which of my people here is carrying?
I feel like
This woman
Yeah.
is carrying around food, so you can be near her. Soros, where would you be?
I told you I was going to be near Uriel.
Okay, and Uriel is. Where did I put Uriel? Oh, here he is. He's right here. So you can be near Uriel, kind
Yeah.
of on this side over here.
Pickpocketed. Yes.
And so that's our setup.
Can I say that like immediately when I'm attacked, I would have like sent a telepathic message to a Nazi, like get to me now.
Absolutely. But you've got your father, a very powerful fighter,
and you've got the other twink there for you. Don't worry.
Vicus.
Yeah, Vicus is going to be so much help, dude.
Vicus-
Me, I'm the other twink.
Like,
Vicus is a twink, though. I mean,
Yeah.
we must agree. Not a good one, but alas.
what makes a good twink?
Yes.
I don't know.
I'm a
He
good
just
twink.
sucks.
I don't know the answer to that
I
question.
don't like him.
I will say, like,
He's a sickly man. He
sickly
can't help.
from that. There we go. So that's where we will pick up next time. with-
Yay.
Oh my god.
The realization that while you prepared for everything, the shadow is still out there, and God knows what they've been doing.
I know.
Wait.
Ah.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna like poison Oban or something.
No.
I was like,
Also, no, I'm gonna make you wait to get the whatever.
Yes.
Oban's gonna reveal.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
No, I was writing it out, and
How
I was like,
dare you.
I wrote out because, and there's nothing there. So then I wrote
Dagger to the gut.
dot to be continued.
Yeah, I said, I knew that. I was like, I'm gonna build the tension here with Alyria pulling Marlo off to the side. But I was like, I knew I was gonna have Vicus interrupt at some point and Alyria interrupt at some point, so that it makes it more and more difficult for Ogowan to say this to Abel without an audience.
So did the Rakshasa know about us hanging out at the
He's been stalking us. He's been following us.
Did he, like, read-
you and
Someone
So
read Ron?
Rakshasas have the ability to detect thoughts.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
if they are going to transform into a person, they have the ability to read their thoughts.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So it's like,
But if she said the letter, does that mean the letter was they were imitating Alyria, or is that the Rakshasa actually wrote a letter that's not what we intend and gave it?
no, they could have just been like,
You don't know how
Well-
long the Rakshasa has been imitating Alyria.
they could have, yeah.
And that's Rob metagaming.
Yeah. Or, I mean, the Rakshasa could have been anyone tonight and then use that to sneak. I mean, like, there's many
Well,
different ways.
Alyra
that-
has the Fez, which would have been recent.
Yep.
So that's a good sign.
Oh, and I'll leave this with you because it was a purposeful choice. It is literally in bold on my thing. I will say. So the final shot of this thing is Abel getting stabbed and kicked towards the edge, almost falling off, as the Rakshasa is transforming and says, I look forward for the opportunity to kill 2 Nuavians today."
Yep, I heard the two.
Okay. And we'll
I
pick
heard
up there
the
next
two.
time.
Jeez, I heard that too, and I was mad about it.